What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for the launch of a brand new series called Ranked. Ranked is going to be a series where I count down either an artist or a band's albums from worst to best, or else their entire single catalog from worst to best. You guys have talked about me ranking things for a while. I've been super interested in it, considering that's how I really started ranking my own music back in the day. Like, oh, what do I like most, 13-year-old John? Oh, what do you hate the most? And I've always enjoyed list-oriented stuff, so this seems like the appropriate next step in terms of ARTV, something that you guys will enjoy, mixing up the content a little bit more, and I think that you guys will love this. So today we are launching the series Ranked with Green Day, ranking their albums from worst to best. Obviously, Green Day are my favorite band, so this was a little bit tough for me. Like, where do you put this album, and who gets the bottom of the totem pole? Exactly, where does this album rank? I had a lot of fun writing and making this one. Be sure to leave a like on the video to help support it. Let me know that you guys are enjoying and loving this new series. Sound off maybe your ranking of Green Day's discography in the comments section. So without further ado, here is my number 12 pick. The worst Green Day album, at least in my opinion. They're all good, but damn it, just on with the video, I'll get to it.
All days are fine, but I left so far behind. From California to Jane Streets.
Coming in dead last is unfortunately Uno, which is definitely not an awful album by any means, as many would think by it coming in at the bottom of the barrel, but I know everyone's gonna rank these albums differently. Hey, somebody has to take the cake for worst album by Green Day, and me personally, I'm going with Uno, because this is the record that I've just gotten the least amount of pleasure out of from my favorite band over time. Recycled formulas, stale riffs, and forgettable lyrics plagued the first album in their trilogy series, but this is still a far cry from being unredeemable. We can't forget great songs like Carpe Diem or even Let Yourself Go. There's great songs to be had, great fun to be had, but overall, I do feel like this is their weakest outing, just because of the reasons that I mentioned, and because it just doesn't have that much in terms of replay factor.
It's the Wall Dogs losers, la-da-da-da-day, bum-ba-dum feeders, frenzy. It's the Wall Blood suckers, sing along with me, 'cause we don't say no, scream 1, 2, 3.
It's unfortunate to put Trey all the way down at number 11. That just sounds bad, but does it help that I'd still rate this album a 3.5, maybe even a light 4? Trey suffered some of the same woes as Uno, but the one distinctive difference was the consistent sound, and more of an abundance of smashingly good tunes. Dirty Rotten Bastards and Amanda rocked us with their multi-part structure and punk energy, while The Forgotten channeled a surprisingly solemn emotion as a piano ballad. Cut out a few Expendables and you'll probably have a lot more fun with Trey than you did Uno, but hey, that's just my 2 cents on it.
Staring across the room, are you leaving soon? I just need a little time. What is it that drives me mad?
Green Day's debut album, 39 Smooth, comes in at number 10 on Ranked, and for a debut album in the punk community in the early 90s, it's got more production value to it than you might think. Mike and Billy's vocal harmonies really started to come together here, and while they don't sound flawless, they had a gutsy persona to them that fans clearly connected to early on. Bigger things were around the corner for the Sweet Children, but they really didn't care too much about that. It was 3 friends playing music and rocking the hell out. That's 39 Smooth in a nutshell. P.S. Al Sobrante, former drummer, you're welcome back at any time as a backup drummer, only because I feel so damn bad for the guy for quitting the gig of a lifetime. Oh well. Emotional weight started to tie into the band more than ever with the release of album number 2, KERPLUNK. The dudes were, and obviously still are, goofy as hell at times, but they also knew how to reflect on the past, dig into failed or else ongoing relationships, and plenty of other stuff that clearly helped them hit it big. Punk rock has way more than one shape. In fact, it's a spirit, and Green Day continued to wave the flag high despite the accusations of already being sellouts, despite not having signed to a major label yet. Classic songs line this record, with Ode to Now Wife 80 and the Help for a Friend, One for the Razorbacks being some of my absolute favorites. Initially, I wasn't as impressed with this album. I honestly just didn't give it enough time for whatever reason. It included the fan-hated Nightlife, Ballad Amy, and the ever cringe-inducing Fuck Time. How could this not be further down on your list is what probably many people are thinking. Well, notice how I said fan-hated? Yeah, I have no hatred towards Nightlife. In fact, I really vibe with Mike's deep bass grooves on this track. Amy serves as a gut-wrenching tribute to the late Amy Winehouse and is so earnest and raw, I can't help but praise it. Fuck Time sucks and will not lure anyone into the bedroom, but other than that, Dose is a garage rock-inspired blast to listen to, as Armstrong shreds through desperado moments like Baby Eyes, Wow That's Loud, and the outlaw couple's anthem, Wild One. It's not at all perfect, but it's impressive for a band who were this deep into their career. Experimentation without alienation. Take a hint, fellow rock bands. Insomniac was probably the most difficult placement I had for this list. Why Insomniac though? Because it's one of those records that undeniably has great songs all over it, but I often have a hard time coming back for a full listen, or even differentiating between some of the cuts from one another. Brat, 86, No Pride, fucking Brain Stew, John, what the fuck? There's hit after hit here, come on! Well, non-existent person, you just named some of the moments that I love the most from this record. Of course there's fantastic songs here. Don't forget the anxiety-induced Panic song. That's a two-part goldmine right there, guys. This isn't my Green Day wet dream by any means, but this 1995 release saw them taking on a more abrasive and less mass-appealing sound, which I applaud them for having the guts to do after their major label breakthrough just the year before, coming with Dookie. On their monumental comeback album 21st Century Breakdown, their first album in almost 5 years after American Idiot, the band dialed up the theatrics to 11 and continued to push the envelope for what they could do with their sound. Armstrong's love for the Beatles gushed in cuts like the heartwarming Last Night on Earth, but they also took inspiration from bands like The Who on some of the longer tracks like American Eulogy. 21st Century Breakdown is a long, punk rock opera, but it never feels bloated or unnecessary. Most of the songs clearly have a reflection of Armstrong in them, even if it's portrayed through the eyes of the main protagonists, Christian and Gloria. This is an album that does the opposite of them fading into oblivion. In fact, it finds its stamina and staying power because these songs have such a theatrical spirit that lures you back to them out of sheer curiosity. Go ahead and let your curiosity get the best of you. Play this album from start to finish. You will lose yourself in it and thank me later.
Revolution Radio, Operation No Control, the headline, violence bulletproof. Give me cherry bombs and gasoline, debutantes and surgery in the headline, legalize.
It sure felt great to see the boys back in such strong fighting form on 2016's Revolution Radio. It was exactly what they needed to re-energize the band after Armstrong's stint in rehab and the release of 3 albums that totally underperformed in terms of their commercial success. Timed perfectly with the US elections of the year, anthems such as the foreboding Troubled Times and the title cut Revolution Radio felt oddly poignant. Bang Bang tore us to pieces with its high-octane guitars and outside-of-the-box lyrics and is absolutely the best Green Day single to drop since the American Idiot days. This was by no means an entirely politically based concept record though. In fact, they intended for it to be a little bit of everything, efforts that completely succeeded. Personal favorites include the Sugar Rush Bouncing Off the Wall, multi-part epic Forever Now, and the Ode to Childhood Memories Outlaws. The plethora of different styles on this record is totally unique, but welcomed, as it was the first Green Day album in over a decade to just be a regular old down-to-earth 12-song album. Not a concept record, not a trilogy, just 3 dudes getting back to the basics of making some killer punk rock music.
God's away, don't let it alone. God's away, now on my own. Lost and found, double bell gets away.
Backs against the wall at their lowest point in terms of commercially successful time since the Lookout record days, the punk trio put out one of the biggest statements they've ever made as a band in true Green Day fashion. Warning is full of surprises, from its politics to its folkier tendencies, and stronger than ever songwriting from Armstrong. I'd argue that some of the band's best material comes to the surface here. Blood, Sex, and Booze is unmistakable with its twisted sexual sneer. Waiting pushed the boundaries of what they could do with an acoustic guitar and is easily their most underrated single ever, and Castaway shows the band's love for other genres of music, implementing them into their own. You can pretend Warning doesn't exist beyond Macy's Day Parade and Minority all you want, but whenever you decide to make time for one of Green Day's greatest albums, it'll be right there, waiting. When it comes to Dookie, I know I'm definitely not all by myself when putting it near the top at number 3 on a list of their greatest albums. Green Day brought punk rock to the mainstream with this tidal wave of a record, sweeping the nation with beloved staples When I Come Around, Welcome to Paradise, and the couch-ridden teens anthem Longview, songs I still play frequently to this day. Sure, the singles are ace, but the trick up Green Day's sleeve was having an album lined up with deep cuts that topped even the greatest of singles in terms of quality, except for Longview. Come on, you know that one's untouchable. Mike singing on Eminus Sleepus and Trey's on the hidden All By Myself was so endearing, but moments such as the hilarious yet fucked up pulling teeth really attracted me to Dookie early on. Billy opened up about being bisexual on Coming Clean, which was admirable considering this wasn't exactly accepted on a larger scale like it is today. Teenage angst fueled Burnout, Having a Blast, and even the bass-heavy Sheet, which all serve as relatable reminders of that phase in my own life, and just how important the album was and will always be to me. Can I just scream underrated from the top of a mountain somewhere? I seriously hate how Nimrod and Warning failed to get the attention that they deserve outside of a few massive singles. Nimrod is one of the few Green Day records that just didn't have an overarching concept in mind whenever it was created. It was just writing songs that somehow came together perfectly and sound flawless from front to back. Scattered rocks the hell out and shows off that trembling bass work, while the Grouch and Platypus I Hate You punch you in the face with a punk-inspired fuck you. I seriously feel so much passion towards this record. It contains some of their best undiscovered gold, like the fervent All the Time, back-to-back combos Jinx and Hashinka, while also serving up varied treats like the ever-sarcastic Prosthetic Head, in addition to the surf rock-inspired instrumental Last Ride In. The guitars here are lively and rambunctious, while Trey and Mike hold down the backing for it with smashing drum rhythms and unforgettable bass lines. Nimrod forever, ladies and gentlemen, an overlooked modern classic. I could sit here and wax poetic for another 25 minutes about my favorite album of all time, but I'll point you to the Green Day playlist linked down below or else at the end of the video if you want to see my full thoughts on it. American Idiot ranks at number 1 easily due to its overwhelming, all-encompassing narrative, grandiose instrumentals that range from piano to walloping guitar, and of course for its unbelievably intriguing story of the son of Ragin' Love himself, Jimmy, the Jesus of Suburbia. From the record's aesthetics and its music videos to its jaw-droppingly orgasmic guitar, drum, and bass, this is truly one of the greatest feats in music ever. End of story for me at least. Armstrong managed to tie in this character to his own personal journeys and struggles, narrating his life and Jimmy's all at the same time. Some songs leave you in tears, some leave you with hope, and a few just make you want to headbang and tear the roof off of your house. American Idiot means the world to me and has since 2005 when, as a 13-year-old boy, I fell in love with an album for the very first time. Thank you, Green Day, and thank you to all the fans who continue to support this album, play, and potential movie to this very day. Don't forget to download the Green Day Amino app, totally free, top link in the description down below. Head over there and take my quiz. At ARTV is my username over there. You can click right below me to see my top 10 Green Day video or another Green Day review that I did. All of my social media is linked in the description, and I will see you guys for more episodes of Ranked very soon right here on ARTV.